I'm Chasing Yadoni, and today what we're going to be doing is coding for beginners. Let me go back here, and I guess I'm going to change the color of my shirt. It accidentally became black. Okay, that's better. Okay, so now here we are in PI Learn to Code. I think that this is, okay, yeah, I'm not really keeping track anymore on how many Coding for Beginners episodes we have done so far, but this one is going to be interesting for me. I'm really planning on making a plane, experiencing disruptions, and I'm thinking of making a plane somehow teleporting into some other dimension or some other random place and aliens shooting at it, and it manages to fly down and land safely. So the first thing I'm gonna try doing is creating a plane, which I'm not sure, I think will be a little bit tough. I'm gonna try to understand what it'll look like. So I also want to do two types of planes. One that'll be moving down like this, and one that will be going up. So I think that we'll need to create a whole new other character for the plane. So I think I can show that a little bit better later on. You know what? I thought that maybe it'll be a little bit easier to create a type of futuristic plane. So yeah, I'm gonna come back here. So I'm gonna try creating a futuristic plane. So I think it'll have just like the regular body would of what I would try to make a futuristic type of car. So like around, yeah, this seems like it's big enough. And I'm just gonna do simple like this and make it like this. Okay, so now probably like this, and that'll look like a fan. I think I'm gonna shorten it a bit, and just a little bit, one layer bigger. And now I'm kind of thinking that maybe I can just use a regular car to do this. So yeah, actually, I'm not sure, but I'm just gonna attempt to finish this futuristic plane. I'm gonna make this move a little bit higher because I do not want this to be so low. So I'm just gonna try to make this a little higher, like here. And let me do this. Wrong color. This and white. So now hit this, and let's go about. It should look like this, and I want this color. Actually, no. Okay, this, and I should take out this just one, and yeah, this looks fine. Now I'm just gonna put these little futuristic things. And yeah, so I'm just gonna duplicate these now up here, and I'm just gonna change this by changing the way that it goes by doing this. Let me see if the colors are the same. Yes, they are. And yeah, this and same change for this. So this, and now if I put this, I would need to change these by putting it here and making them like this. And I'm going to keep doing. Okay, so now in the top right corner, right around here, we'll see the animation that the character plays. And this looks fine to me. So I'm just gonna rename this. Hard to click. Okay, futuristic plane. Futuristic plane. Okay. And now I think, yeah, that would work. So this also reminds me of one of my friends who's actually has a channel with great potential, I think. And yeah, so that channel is called Model Air. I'm pretty sure that it's about the science behind planes, which seems pretty cool. So link to his channel in the description. And let's get back to this. Okay, so now after we have our futuristic plane right here, I think that we will need a few more backgrounds. So this background, I'm starting to think about how the plane would go. So I'm gonna try to make the airport in this case. So I'd want just a gray, simple gray background here. And I want this entire thing to be green to start off with. And yeah, okay, that looks fine. Now let me add this. And yeah, okay. So, oops, that happened. Okay. Back to green, and let's put more gray here. Okay. Now it'll be kind of like the runway. So, I'm not sure how to make this 3D look like it's 3D. So, Okay, I'm gonna try to just keep it simple like this. And yeah, just make this the entire runway. I'm also gonna try adding a few extra white lines across right here to add to the feel that it's a real runway. And gray. Okay? Yeah. Oh yeah, that looks kind of fine. I think I want to make that yellow now. So I'll do this, and yeah, I think this would look, yeah, this looks good. Okay, so I think this is set, and yeah, so I'm also gonna show where the plane randomly disappears and goes into, I'm thinking of it, we can either do space or a random place where there's aliens. So I'm thinking that maybe it'll be a little bit easier to do a random place, but I'm thinking maybe we can do space. Actually, you know what? Come to think of it, I've decided that space would be good because it's a little bit more realistic. So now let me add that in. Okay, so now that I've made this completely black, this area, I want to add different frames with different animated things flying around. So let's make like one red, one orange, one yellow, and yeah, I want a green one here, and this one like way over here. So now we have our frame one, and let me change this. So now this will be changed completely with the same colors though, just in different places, like this, and I'm also just gonna add an extra white. So yeah, now I think that I want to make this 3-frame because I want it to be a bit more animated. So the top we can do is 3 frames. That's because a little bit more than that would be hard to take. So as you can see, you can't add any more aside from 3. So let's go back into here. So red, I'm gonna add blue right here, white right here. It's good to make them a little bit spaced out so that they're not all clumped together. And green will be right there. Okay. Okay, so as I just noticed right here, I don't think that I'm satisfied with what's happening here. It looks like it just changed the color. So I'm going to put this 1 pixel in at least one different spot. So like this. And I also do not want it to come like this because that doesn't look like it's naturally came in. So like this looks a little bit more believable. Yeah. So now I need to focus on preventing it from being in line with this. I just prefer it when it's not in line with any other type of pixel. So now this is how it looks, but I think that this is a little bit too much. So rather than that, I'm going to add even more so that we can have a little variety moving around. So, okay, so now I'm going to keep doing this with different pixels. Okay, so now this looks a little bit clumped, but I think that we've fully done what we can do with this space. I think that looks slightly good. I'm just going to delete this. And now I think we could be ready aside from this extra thing that I need to add. So I need to do this, and I'm just gonna do it so that right here I'm gonna make it light, and then as if it was going up higher and into the higher areas. So okay, so now I'm gonna add this, and I'm gonna make it as if it was going higher and higher, so then it eventually reaches space. Okay, let's keep on. I'm gonna keep putting these, and yeah, I think that seems good. I'm just gonna make an extra layer of this, and yeah, I think that will work. And I'm also gonna add, I don't think that I'll need to add anything else. So now I'm just gonna see if I have a UFO. So the reason I'm looking for a UFO right now is because I want an alien to be here. So it looks like I do not have a UFO in this character's creation. So I'm just going to see what else I can do. So now I guess I'm gonna have to create a new UFO. Okay, so let's start creating the UFO by going here and first of all naming this UFO. And yeah, I think that this works, and let's delete this. And now I'm gonna add a UFO by I think that some sort of circular thing would work. So I think if I can get it around like that, that would actually work. Okay, so I think that this looks good. So now I'm just gonna duplicate this for the next one, and I am going to make this, I'm just gonna change the color from that to blue. I guess. I think this blue, actually, yeah, this blue looks a little better. And I'm gonna go back and duplicate this and paste here. And I'm gonna go back and duplicate this to paste here. And I think that makes it look like this. So yeah, that's what I wanted. Now that we have a UFO, I'm gonna make sure that we have a laser so that it can actually try and hit. So, we don't have a laser, so I'm just gonna add this. So going to new character, and I'm just gonna call it laser. Laser. And yeah, so I'm gonna delete this, and I'm gonna add a red laser. So just this. This is a laser. I'm just gonna duplicate this so I won't have to worry about drawing it again. So the reason I'm making the laser the character and not a background is because the laser is going to actually be moving. Anything that'll, instead of just being animated, anything that actually moves across and that you can code is considered a character. So I'm going to do the same thing with this laser, laser. Okay, and delete blue, and about here. So now I'm just gonna these, and I think that this would be good. And now let me just duplicate this and paste and paste and paste. I think that that's all of them. And so let's see if there's any difference. I would say that maybe it'll look a little bit better if there was one more. So I'm going to copy this and paste it on every single one of them again so that it'll come faster. And now let me see. They look pretty much the same. So now I think that we have it set up. So now I can go to create the story. So let's add a new character, laser, and UFO. And I think that the next one will be the futuristic plane, and it'll also have its own lasers. So yeah, so new story. Let's rename this when the game when I finish it. So I also wanted to star this, and let's go. So first one, I'm gonna want to put right here. So now let's make this futuristic plane, and I'm gonna put it right here, and I'm gonna say do action, and say ready for takeoff. Ready for take. Ready for takeoff. I'm gonna make this as if it was a rocket, but yeah. So now, and then it immediately starts moving this way, fast. And let me count how many. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times it'll be going. So I'm just gonna make a repeat for 10 and make sure that it is no longer visible after that. Okay, so now that is already set for the first scene because this is just the starting scene, and then it'll take okay, so I think that now this needs to I think I need to change the character a little bit. So if I go to the character creator and this futuristic plane, I think that I'm gonna try reverting the way all of these look. So I'm going to just erase this top part and go right like this. Okay, so this is how it looked. And put this in right here. Okay, this looks like the same thing now right here. So yeah, so now I can just duplicate this and add this to all of these. So like this, like this, like this, and yeah, so now that we've added this, I'm also going to change these things so that they all don't match, so that it actually animates and changes. So like this, erase this, and yeah, so I'm just gonna finish this. Okay, so that looks normal to me, and let's go back now. I'm gonna click view previous stories, and I'm going to edit this, and let's test and see if that changed it. Okay, yeah, there's no name, and yeah. Okay, so this time it actually changed it, so at least that's a little bit good. Now, I think that it'll be a little bit glitchy because every single time it tries to say something, it will turn like this. I think so. Let me now edit this. So now it's going up. So it'll be approaching. So it'll be saying now approaching space. Or let's make it immediately start moving on play, and it'll go down. Now it'll go up, and it'll go up. That's not what I wanted. And I'm going to keep editing this. I also wanted to note that when you're going up like this, you can't just add a repeat and make it do this. It'll just make it go like this. So everything that, if you want to do this, it has to be done manually, which I think I can manage with. So I'm going to finish this. I still wanted to remind you that you should still subscribe to Model Air because this really seems kind of inspired by him mostly. So yeah, the link is still in the description. Okay, so I think that I've finished it. So let me just see. Let's turn out. Okay, yeah, it's moving like this. That seems normal. Okay. So yeah, I just want to add to make sure it's not visible, I'm going to add a disappearing thing. So now let's add scene 3, which we get into the space area. So I'm going to make it move first so that it looks like it's this way. And it'll say, wow. Oh, we are in space. And then I'll also have this UFO over here, and it says, and then this UFO will be like, and they'll immediately wait for like 2 seconds. Okay, so in total this will be 6 seconds to wait, and actually this will immediately be invisible, and then he'll broadcast to this, and this will receive this broadcast by clicking wait for broadcast, and from this, and then it'll become visible, and then it'll say Not so fast. And they'll broadcast immediately to this. So now it will broadcast, and then it'll wait for a broadcast, and then it'll say, oh no, oh no. And it'll immediately fire a laser. So I want this laser to be right here, and okay, so I want this laser to be right here, and it'll immediately not be visible. And after he broadcasts to this, and he says, oh no, they'll broadcast to this red laser, which will immediately wait for a broadcast and will say, actually won't say anything, will immediately start becoming visible, and it'll say, oh, why do I keep thinking say? Okay, it won't be saying anything, it'll be moving. So now it'll move like this, and it'll keep moving downward. So that should go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's quite hard to tell with how many cubes there are when it's also disorientating with the space background. So I'm just gonna do as many as I can for this. But we do not want it so that the character that we have just gets shot. So it'll also have its own form of defense. So like this. And this will be, so this will wait for broadcast. And this will broadcast to this. And yeah, so then this will broadcast to this, and this will be invisible, and then it'll wait for a broadcast from this, and then it'll immediately become visible and broadcast to this white, and white will wait for a broadcast, but that won't be from the red color, it'll be from the blue one. And then they'll immediately say, I am going to fight back. I'm going to fight back. So let's make that 2 seconds, and let me go here. So now that he says, I'm going to fight back, he'll immediately broadcast to blue, and blue right here will wait for this broadcast from him, and they'll say, actually, why do I keep saying say? It's so weird. So let's not put say this time, but it'll immediately start moving. And yeah, I forgot. We also need to make sure that the red one continues to move. So now it goes this way. And yeah, that's good. And now it moves down. So when I get this fixed, I'm gonna show you. Okay, so I noticed a problem in this because what happened was I clicked play, and the first thing that I noticed that the blue thing was actually not invisible. So I think that's because this never waits for a broadcast. It only broadcasts to this, and yeah. So now broadcast to this. So it'll broadcast to that, and then this will wait for a broadcast. And from right this, and yeah, so now it'll wait for a broadcast, and I don't see any place where it'll receive a broadcast. So I think I accidentally clicked broadcast 2. So let's see how this turned out now. Okay, yeah, so this time it's invisible. And he says not so fast. Oh no. Okay, yeah, so that seems fine. And it'll keep moving down, and this will keep moving up. So yeah, I'm gonna see when these two collide, and that's what I'm gonna turn it into. Okay, so now I think that I have it working. So I've just made enough. So let me see how this turned out. Wait for a little bit, and it's just not so fast. Okay. And it looks like they both missed each other. So I'm thinking that they both come into a regular clash. And so now it goes and moves, and it goes this way, which this time I think I can put a repeat on finally for like 3. So that, and I'm gonna move here. So move this way fast, and I'm gonna put a repeat on around 2 to 3 also, probably just 2. And let me see how this turns out. I'm gonna skip to the part where we. Okay, so this is about the part that we need to see. Okay, so now when it gets to this, so now when it looks like that turned out very different. So when we get to this, I can just say boom. So right here, and say boom. And this will disappear. X, and this one too will disappear with an X on here. So now what we can do is make these two move down and up. So this should move down about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this should move up about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think there's a 5 difference between both of them. So now after this says boom, or after this becomes not visible, you can broadcast to this white and broadcast to the UFO. The white car will wait for this broadcast from blue and will immediately move up 5 times. Up, and that will be for 5 times. So let's repeat this, and 5. Okay, so let's do the same for this, but it'll be waiting for this right here, and it will do the same, except that will just be down, not up. Okay, and now let's put the repeat, and 5 times. So I want them to be even so that I won't have to do this. I can just make the lasers collide so that can be easier. So I want to finish this up pretty fast because this recording may be a little bit long. So let me see. Okay, yeah. Okay. It looks like he didn't wait, but that still seems fine that it worked out. And yeah, so then this is probably invisible. So, and it went 2, so I think that it should move 2 more times to go back. I think it'll just need to move once. And this, for the red guy, I'm not really sure where he went. So it'll be moving this way 3 times. So I think that after, so then I can just say, take this, and so then now he'll say, should take this, and he'll broadcast to this laser, and this laser will immediately take the command and move this way for the entire time. So it will move about, I'm just gonna make a rough guess, 6, and then it will become invisible. So let's test this. I think that this will be the ending if this works. So yeah, there we go. Not so fast. Oh no. And he gets his laser. Oh. Okay, so he doesn't wait to say take this, which is one of the biggest problems. So he doesn't wait to say take this, so I think he'll need to wait for a broadcast. So now he broadcasts to white to, I assume he'll wait for the broadcast, and he doesn't wait for any broadcast, so yeah, I think this got mistaken. So this broadcast may have been wait for a broadcast, because I don't think he receives another broadcast so immediately. So let me wait for broadcast. So let's change this. So now what does it say? I'm going to fight back. Okay. So now he broadcasts to this. I think I can just take this out, and he goes up. And then when this says boom and repeats, it broadcasts to him. So then he'll wait for this broadcast from him, and yeah, I think that should be it. So yeah, let's see, that was a little bit tough. Let's go forward until the part that we need. Okay, about here. So now he says take this, and key, and it looks like this is not repeating 6 times, probably because it's at the moment invisible. So let's make it visible. So yes, so it goes here, repeats 2 times, and it becomes visible so that we can actually see it, and then it repeats 6 times, and then it becomes invisible, which they then say, no, which will broadcast to the UFO to say, no, so now it'll wait for this broadcast from, and it'll say, no. Okay, I think that this should work. Let's fast forward again. Okay, this is just the place where we need it. Okay, and now let's go. And yeah, it seems a little glitchy, but I think that it worked. So now what I'm going to be doing is going to this scene and star this, star anything that we do together, star, and I want to call this the Space Invader. That seems like a good name. And let's go and see the entire thing. So yeah, ready for takeoff. So this is intended to be a futuristic plane, but I'm not really sure if it looks like that anymore, but yeah. Okay, so it goes up and does that little zigzag thing that's so important. And yeah, so now it'll go to space, yes. Okay. Not so fast. And we've seen this part of the space. And yeah, so it says I'm going to fight back. He moves. He humanly dodges it or deflects it, and then he says, take this. No, it breaks right through, and that is it. So I guess that wraps things up for today. And yeah, so tell me if you want any other type of thing, or yeah, tell me if you want anything else that you want me to do, so we can do space again, going into a TV, and other interesting stuff like that. So make sure to post that in the comments. Please subscribe, and I guess that is it. Bye.